Okay, so before we get into this video, I just want to say I am bringing back the Ali Recommends series for this channel. This for all my old subscribers, for all my new subscribers. Hope you enjoy. So recently, lads, I watched One Night in Miami, the new Amazon Prime film, directed by Regina King, starring Kingsley Benadir, Eli Gorey, Leslie Odom Jr., Aldous Hodge, and adapted by Kemp Powers from his own play. That's pretty cool. He also wrote Soul, which came out late last year on Disney Plus, the new Pixar film, really good. If you haven't seen that already and you have Disney Plus, you should go check that out. It's a really good film. But this is basically the idea of this film and the play is that it's a fictional take on a real night. So a real event, something that actually took place, but a fictional take on it, as in most of what they said wouldn't have been said in real life, probably. I want to start off by talking about the performances. The performances in this film were really good. You had Kingsley Benadir as Malcolm X. He was the leading role. He's the only one of this cast being pushed, being campaigned for leading actor at the Oscars. And I wanted to talk about him because I thought he was by far gave the best performance of the whole cast. And he probably won't be nominated for an Oscar. The Academy will go for someone like Gary Oldman for Mank or somebody else, but they won't go for him, and that makes me sad because he definitely should be nominated. The supporting performances were almost just as good. You had Eli Gorey as Cassius Clay, who would go on to be Muhammad Ali. You had Aldous Hodge as Jim Brown, American football player turned movie star. Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke, a singer from that time whose life was taken far too young. Leslie Odom Jr., who played Sam Cooke, he probably will be nominated. There's been talks of him being nominated for an Oscar, being in the Oscar runnings, if you like. I don't know. I don't know. He gave, I'd say, equally as good a performance maybe as Kingsley Benadir. He was just really good. He sometimes when it wasn't his moment, he was quiet and what's the word? Subdued. Subdued is the word. He was very quiet and subdued in the scenes where he didn't have to play a big part. You could always feel his presence, even if he wasn't saying anything, even if he was just in the background. You knew he was always there. You could always, like I said, feel his presence. His acting was just incredible. So when it came to his big standout moments, he really stole the show. He gave a really good performance, and he should definitely be nominated. I'm not sure about winning, to be honest. I'd still rather see someone like Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, but definitely should be nominated. Okay, so next I want to talk about the screenplay. I want to mention again how it was adapted by Kemp Powers from his own play, and I just want to talk about how the movie feels like a play. All the way through this, down to the screenplay and the direction, I think, and I think it's a healthy mix of both. It always feels like a play just being filmed. Sort of like Hamilton, where it was the play, it was the production being filmed as if it was live. It feels a bit like that. I just hit my microphone. I'm very sorry. But yeah, it was really effective like that, and the monologues. I want to talk about. This is very Tarantino-esque in a way. Not with the whole racial element, although he has obviously Django Unchained, which was more focusing on racial issues, obviously. But it's very Tarantino-esque in the monologues. There's a lot of grand monologues and speeches that one character gives to the rest of the characters and stuff like that, and it's really powerful. It's really elevated by the performances. I wanted to talk about this after I talked about the performances because they really elevate each other and create such a powerful film. But the screenplay is just really good. It's a really good adaptation. Okay, next I want to talk about the direction, and I want to keep this brief, but I just want to say how it's Regina King's directorial debut. She finally won an Oscar a couple of years ago for supporting actress, and after acting, she's moved on. She's directing now. I'm not sure if she's got any other directing project. I've not really looked into it, but for a directorial debut, this was really, really good. I'd want to see her direct again. The way she executed this play to the screen was really effective, creating a really powerful movie. And I think she should be, and probably will be, nominated for an Oscar for this, for her directorial debut. I know I keep bringing up the Oscars a lot. I'm just saying it's getting to that season, and a lot of movie people want me to mention that, so yes. Okay, so next I want to talk about the cinematography and editing. I think the cinematography in films adapted from plays is rarely that good. It's only one example, but one of my biggest issues with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which came out a few months ago now. A few months ago? Month ago. Came out a while ago on Netflix. Relatively new film, Chadwick Boseman, Viola Davis, very good film. But one of my biggest issues with it was that the cinematography felt a bit cheap. It felt... It was okay. Some of the lighting was quite nice, but the camera movements, the camera angles, the cinematography in general just wasn't that great. And I feel this is true for a lot of films based on plays. Why am I struggling to say that? Such a... God damn it. But the cinematography in this I thought was really good. It was really slick and smooth, and it really matched the tone of the film. And that was also partly down to the editing. The editing in this film is really effective. I think that they really edit to the beat of the script, and I think that's really effective. You can see it. You can match the dialogue and the editing. It's really, really clever. I also think the way they introduced these characters, these four main characters, was really cool, which is mostly down to the script, but also the editing keeps the film moving at a nice pace, which is always good. One of my biggest pet peeves with films is the pacing, or when the pacing's off. It can really ruin a film. So the pacing in this film is really good, and I think that's mostly down to the editing. Overall, that's all I've got to... Well, it's not all I've got to say about One Night in Miami. To be honest, it's a really good film. I could sit here all day and talk about it. It might even deserve a rewatch at some point, not anytime soon. It was quite a hard-hitting film in places. In some places, it was really fun and energetic, but it could also be very hard-hitting. It knew when to do one and when to do the other. So overall, I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. Really, really good film. I highly recommend it. You should definitely go check it out if you have Prime. If not, get Prime and then watch One Night in Miami. But yeah, overall, really good film. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, innit? Let me know. Let me know if you're still enjoying the series. If you want me to keep doing this. But yeah, thank you guys. I haven't done a video in a few weeks. I've forgotten how to do an outro. Bye.